you guys are hating on this video so fucking hard right now. Not because that I'm gonna be talking about Outlast Trials again, but because my camera is actually blocking the Spirit's booty. Now I'm a true YouTuber. Here you go. Bam. True YouTuber in the making. Number 5. Outlast. Here's the reason why. Outlast Trials. We know that Outlast Trials is gonna be like some multiplayer shit, right? I know there's gonna be a single player as well, but how they're currently doing things with Outlast Trials, it would be kind of dope to see Outlast DLC in Dead by Daylight, and they could do it. And we already have the perfect killer for it, Chris Walker. So Chris Walker would be the killer. You would have 2 survivors, technically. You could go with 4. The first guy that you play as, and then in Outlast Whistleblower, he could be the second survivor, even though he's technically the first one story-wise. Female character, we do have a female character, which is Lynn. We have seen Lynn, even face-wise, so they could make Lynn like a survivor in the game, and Lynn's husband, which is the main character of the second game. If not, they could go with Jessica. They could make Jessica as an adult character, and you have 2 female characters right there. Bam! So you got 2 male characters and 2 female characters. If they're not gonna go with 2 male characters or 2 female characters, it could be 1 male character and then 1 female character. Chris Walker, low pick. I think one of his perks should be that he's gonna be able to do something with the pallets, because we know in Outlast he is one of the killers that is like, he can break down the doors easily in Outlast. Maybe it could be just like it could be like a perk that kind of reminds of Hillbillies. So he has like some kind of like charge, just like Hillbilly with his chainsaw, and he's gonna be able to like knock down like the pallets easily like that, and maybe be able to continue. I don't know, like it could be something like that. Maybe that's a little too broken, but I don't know. The map is obviously gonna be Mount Massive Asylum, and I think they could make that easily. Mount Massive Asylum, that's the entire map. We literally know how the map looks like. So how they could do it is they could do it just like in Raccoon City. They could do it like in Raccoon City, so you have like upper floor and you have like a basement and all that shit. They could do that. We've seen it in Outlast in the first game, Mount Massive Asylum. You even go down to the basement to turn on like the power and all that shit. So Mount Massive Asylum, definitely the map to go for if ever they're gonna do shit like that. Because we talk about like Outlast Trials, and I've been making a lot of videos about Outlast Trials, and not having a popular opinion about Outlast Trials. I'm still gonna play Outlast Trials, right? I'm still gonna try out the game and all that stuff, and it's gonna be fun for me to play. Hopefully it's gonna be fun to play, even though there are some things that I don't particularly like about Outlast Trials, with the whole you being able to protect yourself and all that stuff. And even if I made an entire video where I talked about being a consumer for horror games, and I pointed out the things that I did not like about Outlast Trials, there are still people to this day today that are saying, oh yeah, but you know, you can lock the doors in Outlast, and like in the other Outlast games, and in Outlast 2, when a killer or like one of the variants or whatever jumps on you, you can like kick them away to get stunned for 2 seconds. That's more than enough. That's more than enough. I don't need minefields, I don't need bombs or anything like that. But just because I don't particularly like the way they're going with Outlast Trials, even if it is a fucking side game, doesn't mean I have to like everything about the game. But I'm still gonna enjoy it, hopefully, when it comes out. It's still gonna be a day 1 purchase for me, but like I said, the whole horror aspect of Outlast Trials is not really something that I'm particularly looking forward to. It could be fun, right? I could be wrong, and I'll gladly eat up my own words. And that's gonna be my opinion until the game comes out. And then when I try out the game, and I might be wrong about some things, I'll gladly admit that I'm wrong about the things, but it does not change anything about my opinions now. It could be better, and it could be really deep. But currently right now, not a big fan of it. Number 4 would be Dead Space. Dead Space, I've talked about that one before in one of my streams, and I think that could be really, really dope. Especially when we got Dead Space coming back again with the whole Dead Space remake and shit. So the map would obviously be USG Ishimura. Depending on where it is in USG Ishimura, doesn't really matter. They could take like small segments of each chapter of Dead Space and that like put it in one big map. Since we already have like the legions, so we know that the people behind DBD, they can make killers that are like the same height and size and all that stuff like the survivors. So I think if that really is the case, I think the killer should be Nicole. I think the killer should be Nicole after she's dead. The marker is like affecting her and all that shit. That would be fucking sick. And she would kind of have like the same abilities like the spirit. I got the spirit in the background right now with the booty and all that shit. So she would have like some kind of abilities like the spirit being able to teleport or like face or some shit like that. Oh, that would be fucking sick. And like when she teleports in front of you, she'd be like, make us whole. And oh my god, that would be so sick. If I would have 2 survivors, the obviously one would be Isaac Clarke. And if there was a female survivor, it would be the baby girl who was in the second game, which I don't remember her name. I actually do not remember her name. So I mentioned killer would be Nicole. The whole market shit, make us whole. And let's say one of her perks is something with the marker, so maybe she can like affect something. Nemesis has like zombies walking around on the map, so what she could do is probably have like a necromorph. Not many necromorph, but just one necromorph that you can obviously deal with a pallet or some shit like that, and you kill it, and then another necromorph would spawn after 2 minutes or something like that. Something like that. So the necromorph would obviously be like a little bit stronger than like a regular ass zombie like the Nemesis has, and it's gonna be able to like shade shoot to some degree, but not like full shade shoot like a killer, but definitely be able to do a lot more like compared to like a zombie, Nemesis zombie. So the map would be USG Ishimura, obviously. The killer would be Nicole, marker edition type of shit, and the 2 survivors would obviously be Isaac and the baby girl from Dead Space 2. So that's my number 4. Number 3, Fatal Frame. I know, right? What? Fatal Frame. I think Fatal Frame actually has a lot of fucking potential. I guess I'm kind of throwing like a curveball with this one, because how the fuck are you gonna make a killer in in Dead by Daylight that has something to do with Fatal Frame? Well, they could obviously use the first antagonist that was in the first Fatal Frame game. The girl that had like like all the fucking hands and shit. You have the ropes, right? So mainly I would be focusing on like the first Fatal Frame. So the male survivor could be Mafuyu, obviously, from the first game. Female survivor could be the main character that you play in the first game. It could also be the twins from the second game. So you have varieties right there, just like some of the other survivors have. For example, in the Resident Evil content, when you play Leon, you can get a special costume so you play Chris Redfield, and that's the same thing with Jill Valentine. You can get a special costume where you play as Claire Redfield, so they can definitely do the same with Fatal Frame. Male and female survivor perk. Obviously, they're gonna have more than one perk, but I'm just gonna mention one perk that I think could be kind of cool, because I can only come up with one perk so far. It's the camera, obviously. So the survivors is gonna have the camera, and you're gonna be able to instant blind the killer. But the cooldown is insanely large. We're talking about like 5 minutes, at least 5 minutes cooldown on that perk. So I think that could be like a really fucking sick perk as a survivor. Like, but you still have to aim, right? It's not like you just walk up to the killer and then you use that perk and they instantly get like blinded. You have to aim with the camera, and then when you take a picture with the camera, it goes with the flashy stuff, the Fatal Frame, just like in the game. So you like stun the killer, they get flashed and all that shit, and they get blinded. And like I said, it would have like a super long fucking cooldown, at least 5 minutes, just to make that shit fair for the killer. It wouldn't be fair if you're just able to spam that shit. There's no reason for you to pick up a flashlight then, if you can just spam that shit. So I think that could be a fucking sick perk. As for the killer, which would be the baby girl with the long black hair, and she got all the fucking arms and the ropes and all that shit, it would probably be something with the ropes, obviously. I forgot what he's called. The Deathslinger. So instead of her like shooting a gun and then, you know, catching the opponent like that, it's ropes. It is ropes that's like grabbing you like from the wrist, obviously. Both wrists, your neck, your fucking angles, the ropes, it's like dragging you type of shit, you know? Just like in the first game, Fatal Frame. The map would obviously be the Lost Village. I think it's a lot bigger than the first place. So there's a lot more like places where you could like put generators and all that shit. So there's that. Number 2, and I'm gonna write it down because it's something that I've actually talked about as well on one of my latest streams. Alien. Alien. The Xenomorphs. Alien. I think that could be so fucking dope to have. The survivors... I think, honest to God, it can only be like 2 survivors, and both of them are gonna be females. So that would be Ripley and her daughter. So the ability that the hack can do is that she can put down like the mark thingies, and if you run over them or like run or walk on them, like, you know, the whole trap fucking launches and you can teleport over there. However, it would not be like the alien doing that shit. It wouldn't be like the alien just coming out of nowhere. It would be like, so the Xenomorph, the way that I see the Xenomorph is like, it's a Xenomorph queen. It's not gonna be like as large as like the Xenomorph queens are normally like in the movies and stuff, but it would be like a Xenomorph queen that's gonna be able to like lay down an egg, right? So picture it like this. You knock down a survivor, the Xenomorph queen or whatever she is, like the mother, right? She picks up a survivor, she hooks the survivor, and what she can do then to make sure that people don't really just go ham and just save the survivor instantly, she can put down an egg. Just like the trapper, put down a fucking bear trap, but instead of it being a bear trap or putting down a marker like the hack, she's gonna be able to put down an egg. And if you don't crouch, if you're not like in a crouching position and like crouching towards like over the egg, if you run over the egg or walk over the egg is gonna open up and there's gonna be a face hugger that's gonna grab you in your face. You're still gonna be able to do stuff, you're still gonna be able to save the survivor, but you get put into the second state by doing that, and you also run super slow. So that's gonna be like a way for the Xenomorph to be able to catch up to you like as fast as possible. So like your running phase is gonna be slow like mad crazy. I think another ability who's also could be like kind of cool is like so for example the piggy bitch from Saw, what she can do is she can put a trap on top of your head and you have to walk, like you have to run around like everywhere to, you know, make sure you get the right one so you can get that thing off, and if you don't get it off it fucks you up, you die, right? So I think what the Queen Xenomorph could do is she has that ability and she can use it like one time, only one time in the entire game. She's no cooldown. She has that perk one time. After she uses it, it's done. So what she does is she plants a face hugger. When you knock down the survivor, she plants an egg inside of you and then she hooks you. The moment you unhook yourself, you have a time limit where the Xenomorph can, you know, get out of your fucking stomach, you know, the whole alien shit. And obviously there's gonna be a way for you to get it off, but it's gonna be super hard to get it off. Some shit like that. Like it has to be something like where the odds are like super hard. But if you get it off, if you actually manage to like survive it, well, the killer, the Xenomorph have used the perk and can never use it again. So kudos to you. But if you don't, you die. Just like the trap thingy that the piggy bitch has from Saw. Obviously, it would be super unfair if you then had another Xenomorph running around. It's just gonna kill you, and it's gonna be like its own kind of like special kill memento type of shit, where you see the survivor, the Xenomorph coming out of their fucking chest, and she dies, and like the fucking baby, just like in the first movie, it runs away and you never see it again. The map is just gonna be like the fucking giant ass spaceship fucking station that is in Alien Isolation, because why not? You might as well use that. That's my second one. The last one, the number one, chat, the number uno, Five Nights at Freddy's. Five Nights at Freddy's, you know, chat, I talked about it. Springtrap is gonna be the main killer, but I do believe, and I think it is the best decision, in my opinion at least, to not only let it be Springtrap, but let it be the other animatronics as well. So at the end of the day, the main killer is gonna be Springtrap, but it's technically an animatronic instead. It's not fully Springtrap, it's just an animatronic that is able to customize itself to whoever you want to be. You get multiple costumes, so you can choose dressing up as like Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, and obviously Springtrap. As for the abilities of the animatronic, like the killer, I'm not really sure what they can do. I guess it could be like a mix. It could be like a mix of the animatronics. So for example, one of the perks could be the killer running super fast, where it's like it is impossible to like outrun the killer. and that would be like that perk would be coming from Foxy, obviously, right? Because we know Foxy runs down like the hallway to the main room where you're at, so that could be one of the perks. A second perk I can think of is like Golden Freddy type of shit. So you're gonna be able to teleport. You're gonna be able to teleport to like a gen or some shit like that. Because we know in Five Nights at Freddy's, when you see Golden Freddy gets in front of your screen, he gives you a jump scare and the game crashes. But if you're playing as Survivor and you're almost done fixing a gen, right? Let's say you're almost done fixing the gen, and if the killer, the animatronic, has that perk, if he has chosen, she has chosen that perk, she chooses to trigger that perk if they want to. They can also just let you fix the gen, but they at least get that warning of like, you know, boop, they get that like kind of like weird noise warning. I don't think it should be like a perk that shows you which gen is almost done. I think it should just be like a warning sound you get. Maybe some weird animatronic glitching type of sound that lets you know a gen is almost done, and then you can choose to use that perk because now you have access to it, and you teleport, you glitches over to that gen, whatever gen it is. And from the survivor's point of view, it would obviously be like Golden Freddy flash jump scare type of shit, as we've seen in the first game, second game, and other games. He jumps up, he's being like, "It's me," and from my point of view, I think any survivor that is fixing that gen, so no matter if it is 2, 3, or 1, or 4, all 4 of them fixing that gen, whoever is fixing that gen is getting blinded by that "it's me," all that glitching shit. It shouldn't be like you know, flashing type of glitching shit, like where you get like epilepsy or some type of shit. It would just be like Golden Freddy, bam, he's right there, he's just blocking your entire view for like 2 seconds, 2 to 3 seconds, 2.5 seconds. You don't know what's going on, you don't know where to run to, and it gives the chance for the killer to at least get one hit in, right? Get one hit in. So if you are in the second state as a survivor, you're fixing the gen, you get that flash of shit, "It's me," you get knocked the fuck down because you're in the second stage. So I think that gives like the killer, the animatronic, a chance to at least do that. Survivor is super hard to actually get a survivor because none of these survivors, I'm pretty sure all of these survivors, we have not seen their faces. We haven't. I cannot come up with a single survivor where we actually seen their face, which means it's gonna be super hard to actually have a survivor from Five Nights at Freddy's, unless it's from Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. I guess, like, I think we've seen that character. I'm pretty sure we've seen that security character, like the girl with like the security hat and all that shit. If we don't get like a specific character from Five Nights at Freddy's as a survivor, I think the best options, I don't know, I think the best option is to get like at least 2 to 4 main character survivors some security outfit. So that could be David having like a security outfit. It could be Claudette with a security outfit. It could be Jane. I would love to see Jane with a security outfit, especially because you dummy fit, because I don't want to see that fat ass in a security outfit, you know? That's just wishful thinking here. Wishful thinking here, chat. But then again, we need a survivor. We need a survivor in order to get like the Five Nights at Freddy's survivor perks. So I don't know what they could do there. Maybe they're gonna use a survivor. Maybe they could use a survivor from Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, because we've seen her at least. We've seen that character. You guys mentioned the door thingies. So here is what I think they could possibly do as a survivor perk. I would say 2 to 3 pallets. Not all pallets. 2 to 3 pallets. And it's random, by the way. It is random. But you know. You as the survivor know where those pallets are. They're always gonna be like, you're always gonna be able to see like a silhouette of them, like on the map as a survivor. So you will always know where those pallets are. These pallets are gonna be like some special pallets. It's not gonna be like pallets you knock down. It's actually gonna be like some kind of door, but it's gonna be like half a door, right? So the killer can still see over the door, and you can also see over it. So it's still gonna have the same height as a pallet. It doesn't matter if there's 3 people that have that same perk. It's only gonna be 1. It's only gonna count as 1. Those doors are doors that can eventually get knocked down by the killer, but it has to take them 3 tries. And when you use that pallet or like that door, it's gonna close just like the doors in Five Nights at Freddy's 1. and the killer can then choose to knock on the door 3 times, and that's gonna break it. If the killer don't want to do that and want to chase the survivor around, the survivor can at least do the same thing, just like when a survivor jumps over a window. So it's gonna have the same effect, you jumping over a window, instead of like the whole pallet animation. It's just gonna be like the window animation. I mean, it is. That is a ridiculous strong fucking perk. If I would have to come up with like 2 other perks for like the FNAF survivors, they would have to be like super lame, or at least like super weak compared to that perk, because that perk is super strong. 3 times the killer has to fucking knock on the door, like smash on the door before it breaks, which is why I think it's fair to say that it should be around 2 to 3 pallets that gets replaced, and nothing more. Other survivors can use those doors as well, but if there's like more than 1 survivor that has that perk, that does not mean there's gonna be more of those doors that's gonna replace the pallets. It's always gonna be 2 to 3, always 2 to 3. So it doesn't matter how many people have that perk, but at least everybody can use it. So you would have a place that kind of resembles from the first game, right? You would have like the main room, then you have maybe the hallway from the second game somewhere on the map, right? And you would have an area, maybe that's the back room where the purple guy was and all that shit. So the back room would be like the burned up place from the third game. That kind of cool, right? That kind of cool. And then just to make the map a little bit bigger, Kish Mish something 19 game, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. You would also have like an outside place on the map, and that would be from the 4th game. So the way I would make the outside place look, it would basically have the house where the 4th game took place. So you have like the backyard, you have the house, you can actually go into the house, and you have like those 2 doorways from the bedroom and all that shit, right? Where you're like holding the doors and all that stuff, so the animatronics cannot get you, right? From the 4th game. And there would also like be a chain for like for a generator to be in there and all that stuff. So that's how I would personally like map out like the entire map. So you would have like the map resemble 4 fucking Five Nights at Freddy games, and it would make sense to have a little bit burned up place in the Fazbear pizza place, because you have Springtrap as the killer. So obviously there has to be something that resembles the third game. I don't think it's a good idea to go with the security breach and all that stuff. I want to keep shit original, right? I want to keep shit original, just like with the killers. That's all I have to say to that. People watching this on YouTube, I guess, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about that. If you have some other horror games or horror movies, put them in the comments below. I want to see that shit. Let's talk about that shit. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace and